Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are now going to have part 2 of the FMC or FMS setup. In the previous video we did all the setup for takeoff, climb to cruise, and in this video we are going to do the setup as we come in to get ready to land. So I am now getting close to the top of descent, and the first thing we're going to do is refer to our flight panel, our chart, to get all of the settings that we need. Now you might have noticed over here that it says the sim paused at top of descent. That is an option you can set up in the configuration. If that's helpful to you, I did that today to make sure that we could take a moment here to get everything set up without being rushed. So I'll look at my Navigraph chart here, and there's some important items to look at. One of those is the frequency of the localizer. We'll have to put that in. The final approach course. This is the direction that the plane body needs to be moving as it's coming in to land. Now I say plane body because sometimes, depending upon wind, and of course we're doing clear skies today, so that should match, but sometimes the wind will have the indicator that we're not going exactly 281. That's because the nose is yawed one way or the other in order to deal with the wind. The at the waypoint limited right here, we need to be at 2,300 feet, and our minimums is for the ILS is, I usually use radio minimums, and that's 200. You can use radio or baro, but 200. So these are the numbers that we're going to be working from as we get set up to come in for our landing. So we're going to go ahead and set those now, and really the only one that we have to have set right away is this altitude, because the plane will not respond to this top of descent if our altitude is not set down. See, we're still at flight level 370, and so we're going to go ahead, and since I'm not using ATC, I'm going to go ahead and set it to that altitude we need to be at when we hit waypoint limited so that we can pick up the ILS. So let's just roll this down. And we're going to take it down to 2,300 according to the chart. We have that set. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the top of descent so that we can continue to fly. That's a handy thing, especially if you have to step away from the plane and go take care of the dog or whatever. It makes sure that you don't miss that top of descent, or it'll just hold it there for you if you need to be away from your plane for a little bit and then come back and finish up the flight. So we're nearing the top of descent now. We've got it zoomed out quite a bit, so we've got a little to go. You see we're getting close to that now. So once we have that set, then you can see that now our plane is beginning to lose some altitude. It's going to follow the flight plan, or the glide slope into the final. So now that we're moving, we're going to set up those other two numbers that we saw. So going down to the flight management system, we pop over here to the nav menu, and right here we can click tune, and then we can put in our frequency of our nav radio. And remember, where I got that is this one right here, 111.75. So we'll put in 111.75, and we'll shoot that into nav 1, and we'll do the same thing over on this side. One of the things that really surprised me about this plane, because it's an older plane, is that it will populate this course by itself. You can still change that if for some reason it's wrong or it doesn't get there, but that's not something we have to set right now. If you need to change the course, you can find it. This little quick button right here that like this altitude and the heading screw that they gave us so that it's easier to change is right here, and the course will show up right down here as we get closer to our destination. Back to the FMS for just a little bit. So in order to get ready to come in for landing, we've got to get some numbers and set some things up. So we're going to go to the Performance tab, and we're going to go over here to the Descent. This stuff is going to populate itself based on what we did earlier on when we set it up, but we just kind of look at that. This is the speed we'll be going, the angle of our descent is right here. So let's flip over to the landing page. And now I'm going to look for what the weather is like at our destination. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go into CMH, which is where we're going, and I'm going to look at the charts, click the weather, and we see that the outside temperature is 28 degrees, and we're using clear weather. So even though this says our altimeter is 3003, we're going to use 2992 because we're not using a live weather. But we are going to go ahead and put that temperature in, and that's 28 degrees. So we'll come in here and we'll go 28 and drop it in here in the temperature, and then it'll automatically convert it to Fahrenheit. And then our wind, since we don't have any, I'm just going to put 30 at 0 like I did in our takeoff. Our elevation for the airport is 813 feet, and that's pretty doggone close to what we see right here, so that is correct as well. We'll go to the next page in landing, and that gives us information about the runway itself, how wide it is, the slope, and today it's dry because we're using clear weather. And that information we need there. Move on to the next one. We don't need any anti-ice. We're going to land at flaps 35, so that looks good too. We're going to go ahead into landing data. It's estimated our landing weight. The runway is this long, and we need this much runway, which is great for those of us who are still learning how to land this thing, as we can get some floating and not worry about running out of runway. That's helped me more than once. Okay, landing page number 2 then is when we're going to get these two figures here, that now that we've come to this page, it will populate that itself up in the primary display. And that's all we have to do to set up the FMS, and we're all set to go. And we have all of our landing information in, and we are just making our way on the descent down into Columbus. So that's everything you need to know for setting up the descent and the approach. Getting all of that in the FMS, it is all ready for you to go. You just continue to fly the flight plan all the way into your landing. I hope this short little video was helpful to show you how to get everything set up in the computer and on the plane itself to prepare to land. We'll be back with another video where I'll take another short, close look at a particular phase of the flight. Until then, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.